been rejected, and they're afraid. And I have to help them not be afraid.
Coach has been preparing each one of you for one moment. What are you going to bring when it's your time?
Whatever y'all want to do, like I'm here.
What's up, y'all? This is Critic, and I'm back. Happy New Year. 2023 is here. Now, before I get to the review, I just want to let you know that during these last couple weeks of 2022, I was sick. I could barely, talk because I had this cough. Don't worry. It's not the disease that y'all think it is, but it was just a random cold. I'm still getting like the little effects of it, but I'm back, and I just wanted to start the new year by just reviewing these movies and getting organized a little bit. I just recently watched the second season of The Last Chance U basketball documentary. Now, if y'all remember, a couple years ago, I did a review on The Last Chance U season 1. It talks about the community in ELAC, East LA, community college. Coach Mosley, Coach Rob, Hood Steph Curry, which I call him, and Joe Hampton was there. It was like a great first season that I've watched. And, unfortunately, like during the conclusion of the season, they had to end their journey because of the pandemic and everything. So now we're here in the second season with Coach Mosley being back, with Coach Rob being back, with all these new kids. Some of them, I don't exactly remember if they were in the first season or not, but we have Desmond, who's like the leader, well, quote unquote leader of the group. Now, the first season it was baby Hood Steph. Now it's Desmond here, and then we have newcomers like Brian, Shamir Moore, DC, Demetrius, Damani, Josh. All these new players that are here. We are experiencing with this second season. Now, what Last Chance U basketball continues to do is it makes you feel like you're part of the team. It gets you through the ups and downs. It gets you to know these players throughout the season. Sometimes you be annoyed by them. Sometimes you love being around them. It has the best way of representing how it is being a part of a basketball team. Now, they show other documentaries, during the NBA and all that, where you see what they do. But with Last Chance U basketball, you get to literally go inside the psyche and feel like you're a part of the team. Going through, like I said before, the ups and downs, seeing what they do day to day, the struggles that they had to go through outside of basketball. And you get to experience it here. Coach Mosley still, yells and all that.
Don't put on the show, freaking win the game. Don't put on the show. You win the game. Don't put on the show. You win the game. Don't put on the show. You freaking win the game.
It's amazing how he's a winning coach. Even though I'm not gonna lie, the coaching here is more exposed here than it did the first season because he giving me Doc River vibes, but he is a good motivative coach. He able to get these kids to do what they have to do, even though some of the kids have their own destiny, have their own individual goals, but they understand at the end that it's a team sport and they end up liking each other. Now, let me just tell you these individual players. Now, Brian, he reminds me of Cat, and there's a guest star here that confirms that. And it's not only the hair and the way he looks, it's basically like his characteristics, his vibes. He always giving me Cat vibes. Even the way he plays, it's giving me Cat vibes. But I'll say he's one of the top players in the team because he was in Division 1 before. He was in LSU, and I forgot another college he was in. But the most recognizable one was LSU. And the reason he was in ELAC was because he had some trouble, adjusting to what's going on in, Division 1. And he obviously wants to prove himself being in this college. And he could be annoying at first. He complains and say, "Oh, I don't have no playing time. Why you not putting me in the game, coach?" or whatever. But he understands later on that he becomes much more of a leader, and he understands that he's one of the more talented players on the team. Shamir, he is a difficult person for me because he is the most talented player on this team. Obviously, he was one of the most recognizable ones this season because a couple years ago he was a part of the All-American crew. He was one of the more popular kids in high school playing basketball. If you remember, he was in, Ball's Life, Hoop Mixtape, all them videos, and people were calling him, the next LeBron James or whatever. But he has a sad story where he had the opportunity to live out his dreams, to, how every college kid dreams being there for 1 year and going to the NBA, but he didn't have that choice. His grades wasn't good. People around him were giving him a bad influence. He went to difficult situations and he ended up being an ELAC. And he really feels sorry for himself. But the coach is there, tries to help him because he always dips every time there's trouble leading the way. I'm not going to spoil anything, but they're going to try to do right by him and make sure he's consistent because that's basically the main thing about him is that he's never consistent with anything he does throughout his life. So the coach is trying to make him consistent, not only on the basketball court, but in life in general. Now, Demetrius is a character, bro. The first impression you get from him is he does TikTok videos, and it's like he's always about himself. He complains, he always talks. Even when they give him good criticism, he always like, man, I just want to be in USC. I want to be in LSU. I'm Division I. And even though that's, you admire that because not a lot of people believe in themselves like that, he still don't understand the situation that he's in. And that's what they're trying to get through with him. But DC, I ain't gonna lie, man, he is probably my favorite player on the team. Because when he plays the game, his drive, his finishing moves are amazing. I saw one play where he drives to the basket. He's up in the air. One of his defenders were moving their hands like this. He grabs the ball and he does this in the air, just like Kyrie and Allen Iverson. Like it was just amazing. I'm like, okay, DC, okay, I see what you do. You still talk a lot, but yeah, I see what you do. Yeah. Let me get through this real quick. All right, Josh. You get to know him and understand why he acts the way that he does, and once you recognize why he outbursts throughout practices or whatever, and if you don't know Josh is going to be. I'll just say he reminds me of Kevin Looney the way he plays. And he's obviously the glue guy, one of the glue guys on the team that just, loves to play rough. So he's somebody here that you're going to love on this team. Also, Damani is probably my favorite person on the squad because he's basically the heart of the group. He represents mostly the best. The way he goes through hard work, the way he plays with an intensity. Like he's very soft-spoken out of basketball. He's very nice person, but once he goes in the court, he's the complete opposite. He takes charges like they football tackles, and once I tell you he takes some charges like bad. Like you see the way he gets hit, and sometimes you just be like, oh man, that looks terrible. Damani is probably is my favorite player on this team. Not because of his talent, but because of how he plays on the court. And I really like that. Coach Mosley and Coach Rob are still, really good coaches that tries to help these kids be not only better players, not only having the opportunity to go to these colleges and have scholarships, but to be better people and to have opportunities outside of basketball, becoming other things if basketball doesn't work out, and understand that you have to grow up and see what's going on around you and help yourself. So this the second season, even though the second season just feel like unfinished business because, like I said before, the first season they couldn't do the tournament because of the pandemic, but this season they tried to finish the tournament. I'll say, in my opinion, it's not as good as the first team in the first season because you had Joe Hampton, you had Baby Steph, all of them. If that team felt really special. This second season, even though in my opinion it's not as special as the first season, this second season was still as good. From the team, from a filmmaking standpoint, I think the second season is better just because they're not spaced out because of the pandemic. They're able to film some stuff outside. There's some shots where it's just really good cinematography there. It was just great, man, and it was great to see the second season of Last Chance U. I don't know if it's going to be the last season, but I love the team. I love the way Coach Mosley coaches, motivating these kids to understand that they could be better than what they actually think they are. Also, but at the same time, to keep realistic expectations to themselves, because even though they're good players, they're still, around and everything. There's still politics, as you say, in the basketball world. And the way you act, even the way you dressed or whatever, other coaches around the Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, even like JUCO and everything, they're going to look at it a certain way, and they decide whether you should get a scholarship or not. Because not everyone can get a scholarship, like Mosley said in the documentary. So there's a lot of things I want to say, but I want to keep it in the documentary because I want y'all to see that and experience what I experienced, knowing these individuals, knowing the process of how the coaches are coaching these kids, and understand that not all basketball players are going to be there for 1 year and going to the NBA and being first round picks. Sometimes they might not even be second round picks. Sometimes they might not even be undrafted. And sometimes they might not even be able to go overseas because they might not be good enough. Basketball, we gotta understand, we talk about basketball players a lot and see the way they play and say, oh, they suck, they trash. But they're trash. Like, if they're trash, like, who do we think we are? You know what I mean? So it's very hard to have an opportunity to go to college and let scouts see you and see that you're a great player and that you're able to adapt to what they want. But this second season was really good. I enjoyed it. I love seeing Coach Mosley again. I love seeing Coach Rob. I love seeing the whole staff back. Also, they have one part where they talk about the announcer and how he processes day to day. I'll just put a little bit spoiler here. He does commentary, but that's not his full job. His full job is melting metal and creating stuff. That's just basically it. And they even go to small details like that where you understand where everybody is coming from, even the commentator. So I really love this season. If this is the last season, I thank Coach Mosley, Coach Rob, and the whole staff in ELAC, what they done, and showing us the experience of how it is to become a college student in basketball. That it's not only Kentucky or LSU or Duke, it's the schools like the community colleges, the ELACs, that best represents how much of a grind these basketball players are going to go through if they want to make it to the NBA or overseas in general. So that's basically it for my review for Last Chance U Season 2. Make sure to like this video, comment down below your thoughts on this season. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to see my new content. Alright, y'all. Peace and Happy New Year.